Greetings and good day. I'm Ed Kinglet, and I'm joined today by my attorney partners, Chester Ogsimer and Dr. Ray Gervasio. We are with FIL-AM Lawyers, where we assist U.S. persons with their Philippine assets. Today, we're going to talk about the interesting topic of estate planning generally. And the way I'd like to begin is I'd like to have Dr. Ray Gervasio talk about. I know that you are a practicing attorney here in California, Dr. Gervasio. Can you go over maybe two important reasons why estate planning is something people should consider and ought to do?
Sure. Certainly, there are many reasons why we should be preparing an estate plan. Because if we don't prepare an estate plan, what typically happens is we have to rely on the government's estate plan that's already prepared for all of us. And that's what we call the probate code. And so what that means is the government really decides who your heirs are, who's going to administer your estate, and when your assets are actually going to be distributed. So by having an estate plan, you are really in control of what happens or what people has to follow with regards to how you want things to work. After you're gone. But it's not just a matter of what happens after you're gone. It's also an issue of what happens in the event of your incapacity. So the two things that I would say are probably the most important thing to consider when deciding whether to do an estate plan is, number one, when you pass away, most people want to avoid what we call the death probate. The death probate is a formal court process whereby the court supervises the transfer of a person's assets who has passed on to their survivors. This process is a very expensive process because it is a fee based on the value of the assets that are being transferred. And this is something that we don't negotiate as attorneys with clients. This is set by law, set by statute. Also, this process can take time. On average, at least here in California, for a very simple probate, we're looking at an average of about 1.5 to 2 years to complete a very simple probate. So certainly we want to avoid that court process by having a proper estate plan in place. Another issue that I mentioned is avoiding what we call the living probate, which is what we call conservatorships here in California. And this is in the event of incapacity, really who is going to help you manage your financial affairs if you are unable to manage your own affairs. And so certainly having an estate plan in place can help eliminate the issue of having to go to court for this living probate situation, because you will name someone that you trust who can step in and help you pay your bills and manage your financials in the event you're not able to.
Thank you, Dr. Gervasio. One of the things that you and I have discussed over the years is whether or not our clients who are Filipino American can use their California estate plan to also cover their assets in the Philippines, meaning physically located in the Philippines. Attorney Chester Ogsimer, who is our Philippine licensed attorney, can you weigh in on why Filipino Americans need to create a separate estate plan in the Philippines?
There are differences in laws in the Philippines and in the United States. When we say Filipino Americans, first, let's distinguish, is she a dual citizen or a former Filipino? If it's a dual citizen, yes, you definitely need a separate for your estates in the Philippines, because the Philippine law will apply to you. One example of that is on compulsory heirship. If you want to learn more about compulsory heirship and dual citizenship, we have another video for that. Please click on the link. Another difference is on the formalities of instruments. In the Philippines, if you execute an instrument there, you need to follow the rules of the Philippines. And so right now, in some jurisdictions, e-signatures are okay, but in the Philippines, it's not yet generally accepted. So it needs to be physically signed and notarized. Another issue that you need to deal with the Philippine laws is also probate, and it takes also a long time. It's about 1 to 2 years. And lastly, why you need a separate estate plan is when it is time to dispose your estate on what we call as estate administration. You need to have someone there who knows the laws, who knows the process of settling the estate. You need to have an expert available in the Philippines when the time comes to implement your estate.
Attorney Oxamer, so you had said for sure if you are a dual citizen, meaning if you're a citizen of the Philippines, you definitely need a standalone estate plan. Now, what about the millions of Filipino Americans who are physically here? They own assets in the Philippines, but they are not citizens of the Philippines. Can you explain why that's important?
Well, the law that will apply to you if you're not a citizen of the Philippines is the law of your citizenship. If you're a U.S. person, the Philippines recognizes that if you died a U.S. citizen, then the Philippines will recognize your inheritance laws. But as to the other aspect of your disposition, like that you use to dispose of your asset, maybe a trust instrument. Some of it may not be recognized in the Philippines, or the regulators are not too familiar with it, that they don't know what it is. What sort of instrument is this that you're trying to show me? So you need to be able to settle your estate in an efficient manner. And one way to do that is to submit to the regulators an instrument that they know already.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. To our audiences, just to be clear about our services, we are FIL-AM Lawyers, and we assist you with your Philippine estate planning, and we can create all of these documents for you. We are licensed here in the United States as well in the Philippines, and we have partnerships there abroad who can assist, which means you physically don't have to fly to the Philippines to get any of this done, and they can be conveniently conducted here in the United States. If you've enjoyed this recording, please visit us online to see the rest of our service offerings. We are located at FIL-AMLawyers.com. On behalf of Dr. Ray Gervasio and Attorney Chester Oxamer, I'm Ed Kinglet. Thank you for being with us today.